Good evening. It is now 6:05 p.m. on Monday, August 30th, 2021. Thank you for your interest and your attendance in this virtual public hearing tonight. The hearing is now considered open. My name is Davis Murphy. I am the Compliance Supervisor for the NC Division of Air Quality's Winston-Salem Regional Office. I have been appointed to be the hearing officer for this public hearing by the Director of the Division of Air Quality, Mike Abrazinskis. My purpose this evening is to receive your comments, either written or oral, for consideration in the issuance of a modified air quality permit to Flowers Timber Company, Incorporated, to incorporate the requirements of the recently promulgated Rule 15A NCAC 02D 0546, Control of Emissions from Log Fumigation Operations for methyl bromide log fumigation, and to incorporate the fumigation of other commodities with use of phosphine. Flowers Timber Company's existing site is located at 140 Greenfield Cemetery Road in Seven Springs. For the sake of brevity and simplicity, the facility will be referred to as Flowers Timber henceforth during this hearing. The focus of this hearing, and the only focus, is to receive public comments on the proposed air quality permit as they relate to the applicability of air quality regulations. The Division of Air Quality is conducting this public hearing digitally to allow for public participation while protecting public health under current guidance to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The public hearing announcement was published in the Goldsboro News Argus and on the Division of Air Quality's website on July 30th, 2021. During this virtual public hearing, we'll be receiving oral comments from those individuals who pre-registered to speak at this event. If you are having technical difficulties with WebEx, you can use the chat feature in WebEx to ask questions or seek assistance. Joining me for this hearing tonight are several DAQ Raleigh Central Office and Washington Regional Office representatives. From DAQ's Raleigh Central Office, we have Michael Pagetra, the Deputy Director of the Division of Air Quality, Zaidab Nassif, Division of Air Quality's Public Information Officer, Rahat Ashik, Environmental Engineer 2 with the Rules Development Branch. Additionally, from DAQ's Washington Regional Office, we have Betsy Huddleston, Regional Supervisor of the Washington Regional Office, Robert Bright, Compliance Coordinator and Inspector for Flowers Timber, Kurt Tidd, Engineer 2 and Permanent Engineer for this application. There may also be local officials with us tonight. We thank you for attending. The Division of Air Quality regulations do not require a hearing for the issuance of this air permit. However, due to significant public interest, the Director of the Division of Air Quality has decided to conduct this public hearing to receive pertinent public comments on whether to issue, modify, or deny this air permit to Flowers Timber. Comment period for this permit opened on July 30th, 2021 and will close on Wednesday, September 1st, 2021 at 5 p.m. In addition to your oral comments tonight, the division is also accepting comments via mail, electronic mail, and by phone to a voicemail box. The email address and phone number for the voicemail is displayed on your screen. Oral, electronic, and written comments will all be equally considered. Copies of the permit application, the air permit application review, the draft air permit, and other information concerning the Flowers Timber application are available on the DAQ website at www.ncair.org. They are also available to the public at the following locations: the NC Department of Environmental Quality Washington Regional Office, located at 943 Washington Square Mall in Washington, NC, and the Division of Air Quality's Central Office Permit Section, located at 217 West Jones Street in Raleigh, NC. If you wish to review these materials in person, they are available during normal business hours at the locations I just mentioned. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, an appointment is required. Please call in advance to make an appointment. The order of events for this hearing are as follows. First, Mr. Kurt Tidd, the Washington Regional Office Permit Engineer who reviewed the permit application and wrote the draft permit, will discuss the application, the air quality permit, and the air permitting procedures. This will be followed by the public comment period. We will receive oral comments from those individuals who pre-registered to speak at this event. This will allow us to have an accurate hearing record. To provide enough time for public comments, this meeting will be conducted in the following manner. Effort will be made to call speakers in the same order of your registrations. Oral statements will be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes in order to hear as many citizens as possible. The public hearing is scheduled to adjourn no later than 9 p.m. tonight. I will call the name of each speaker, then our WebEx host, Rahat Ashik, will unmute the speaker and tell them it is their turn to speak. I will also announce the name of the next speaker in the queue so they can prepare to provide comments. Please do not start speaking until Rahat has indicated that your microphone has been unmuted. Your time will begin when Rahat has unmuted your microphone. We will keep track of your time and I will announce when your 5 minutes has expired. Please respect the time of all who wish to present oral comments tonight by adhering to the time limits and closing your remarks as quickly as possible once time is up. Cross-examination of the person presenting comments or me, the hearing officer, will not be allowed. Questions directed to Division of Air Quality staff members will not be answered during this hearing. If you have questions for DAQ staff, we can provide you with our contact information so you may contact them after the meeting during normal office hours. After receiving comments this evening, the hearing record will be closed. However, the period for submitting comments does not close until Wednesday, September 1st, 2021 at 5 p.m. Again, the only focus of this virtual public hearing is the presentation of comments related to air quality issues associated with the modified air quality permit for Flowers Timber and the applicability of air quality regulations. Only relevant air quality comments can be considered in the final recommendations to our division director. I will now call on Kurt Tidd, permitting engineer of the Division of Air Quality, Washington Regional Office, to discuss the air permitting procedures and permit application review.
Thank you, Davis. This project started when Flowers Timber submitted an application on December 12, 2020 to amend permit 10549R00 to incorporate the requirements of the recently promulgated rule O2D 0546, control of emissions from log fumigation operations. Flowers is currently permitted to operate a sawmill and conduct fumigation of logs and containers using methyl bromide. This application requests the addition of fumigation of logs and tarp bulk piles on an impervious concrete pad, as well as phosphine fumigation of other commodities in containers to the existing permit. Excuse me. Flowers has contracted Ecolab to conduct the actual fumigation. Methyl bromide and phosphine emissions will be vented using a fan and ducting that connects to a 40-foot vertical stack. Next slide, please. Phosphine fumigation is not regulated under O2D 546, but both methyl bromide and phosphine are North Carolina toxic air pollutants, or TAPs, and are regulated under O2D 1100. In order to document compliance with this health-based acceptable ambient air level, AAL, established in O2D 1104, both methyl bromide and phosphine for both methylbromine and phosphine, Flowers was required to perform air dispersion modeling analysis. The AAL for methylbromide is 1,000 micrograms per cubic meter on a 24-hour basis, 5 milligrams per meter on an annual basis, and for phosphine, it is 130 micrograms per cubic meter on a 1-hour basis. Both stack and fugitive emissions were considered in the modeling. Next slide, please. The conditions in draft permit 10549R01 were developed under the authority of O2D 1100 and O2D 0546. The conditions developed for this permit were structured according to each major step of bulk pile and container fumigation process, which are as follows. For bulk log piles, fumigation, preparation for bulk piles, bulk pile fumigation, leak detection and repair program, exhaust stack for bulk piles, aeration, and the removing of the tarpaulins. For the container fumigation, it is fumigation preparation for containers, container fumigation, leak detection and repair program, exhaust stack for containers, aeration, and the opening of the containers. Next slide, please. Monitoring, record keep, and reporting requirements have been created for Flowers Timber to demonstrate and document that flow through the stack is maintained and the facility is preventing and minimizing fugitive emissions loss to ensure compliance with the modeled rate. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. You may notice I've turned my camera off. That's because I'm having some slight bandwidth issues. At this time, we will hear from those who pre-registered to provide oral comments this evening. When your name is called, our WebEx host, Rahat Sheikh, will unmute your microphone so you can provide your comments to ensure our records are, I misspoke. To ensure our records are complete, please clearly state your name and who you're representing. Your comments will be recorded, so please speak loudly and clearly toward your microphone or telephone. Please do not start speaking until the WebEx host has indicated that your microphone has been unmuted. If you're using a telephone, please press *3 to raise your hand so we can recognize you. It is critically important for the audio clarity of your comments that you turn off any speakers that you have that can create feedback. If there's significant feedback on your line, we may need to mute your call and attempt to come back to you later. If we call your name but cannot hear you, please check to see if you're muted on the WebEx screen on your computer. If you're having audio issues, try a different method of audio connection within WebEx or use the Call Me feature to have WebEx call your personal telephone. If we still cannot hear you, we'll proceed to the next registered speaker, but we'll call your name again at the end of the hearing. I will do my best to pronounce your names correctly and apologize in advance for any errors. We will now begin taking oral comments. Our first speaker is Aaron Carey. Our second speaker following that will be Joel Porter.
Aaron, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead and make your comments. She was just on, I believe she just dropped. We'll come back to her. Davis, who's next?
All right, next is Joel Porter, followed by June Blotnick.
Okay. Joel, if you've
sorry, Rahat, that's Joel.
Yeah. Joel, if you've dialed in by phone, please press *3 so I can identify you to unmute your line, please. Okay. Joel, if you dialed in by phone, please press *3 so I can identify your line. Okay, we'll have to move on.
Okay. Next up is June Blotnick.
Okay. Hey, June, your line has been unmuted. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying well, I had to wait to be unmuted, but I'm presenting comments. I'm the executive director of Clean Air NC, and Joel is not able to present because he just had a baby over the weekend. So I'm presenting comments on behalf of Clean Air NC. I'm here to comment on Flowers Timber's request to modify their existing air permit in order to comply with the ambient air level for methyl bromide and phosphine. I want to commend the Division of Air Quality for their hard work in creating the AAL for methyl bromide, a good first step in regulating this toxic chemical. That being said, we also strongly believe the health impacts of methyl bromide are so severe that it should not be used at all. We therefore oppose this permit request and urge DAQ to implement a strong monitoring and reporting program to protect the health of nearby communities. As we noted during the development of the methyl bromide AAL, this chemical is a dangerous neurotoxin. Inhaling it, even at low levels, can cause headaches, weakness, sore throat, nausea, and neurological effects. High exposure can damage the eyes, skin, lungs, kidneys, and central nervous system. These health impacts become even more apparent for the communities living on the fence line of Flowers Timber industrial activity who are exposed to methyl bromide 24 hours a day. As DAQ reports, these communities include a high population over the age of 75, a large Latinx population with over 20% having limited English proficiency, and a large number of residents living in poverty. Thus, the problem of methyl bromide exposure is exacerbated due to economic insecurity, language barriers, and disproportionate long-term health exposures. We urge DAQ to implement a rigorous monitoring and reporting campaign to safeguard community health. The facility emits methyl bromide from stacks just 40 feet in height, what we believe is far too short for the toxin to safely diffuse before reaching the surrounding residential areas. A robust network of monitors across the dispersion zone can provide an early warning of where and when methyl bromide concentrations may reach dangerous levels. We also recommend that fence-line communities are notified of their access to regular monitoring reports, and that those reports are also sent to the county health department. We thank the division for hosting this hearing, but urge you to do everything in your power to protect public health when issuing air permits for facilities using methyl bromide. Thank you so much.
All right. Rahat, I believe we could come back to Aaron Carey and see if we have success this time.
Yeah, she was just on. She just dropped off again. Aaron, if you're on the line, please press *3 if you dialed in by phone so I can identify your line. We'll have to come back to her.
Okay, that is all the names we have registered to speak. We do have some remaining time. So at this time, if you would like to speak, please put your name in the WebEx chat box, which you can access at the bottom of your right hand of your screen. Once we call your name, we'll ask that you either raise your hand in WebEx or press *3 on your phone so that we can allow you to be unmuted and provide your comments. Once you provide your comments, please lower your hand or again press *3. I see we have a Bobby Jones in the chat box who would like to speak. Rahat, do we have the ability to unmute Bobby Jones to allow them to speak?
Yes, Bobby, go ahead. Your line has been unmuted.
Thank you. My name is Bobby Jones. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'm with Down East Coal Ash Environmental and Social Justice Coalition in the Goldsboro Resilience Hub located here in Goldsboro and Wayne County. Our focus is Goldsboro and Wayne County in eastern North Carolina. I have a concern, and that is, and I'm speaking to you on behalf of the other residents in this area. And I like, on their behalf, I like to know what fumigation preparation for buck piles mean. I like to know what buck piles fumigation mean. I like to know what leak detection and repair program mean. I like to know what exhaust stocks for piles mean. I like to know what aeration means. I like to know what removing the tarpaulins mean. And in essence, I like to know what you have done to educate the people in this community to have an understanding of what this means and to encourage them to engage in this process so they can articulate in some fashion and have some kind of understanding as to exactly what's going on in their community. In addition, I'm concerned about a clear understanding of the processes used to ensure that this poison does not get into the air that we breathe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I'll note that this event is to receive comments. And as I said in my script, that questions for Division of Air Quality personnel can be addressed by contacting one of the offices. We're going to give just a couple more minutes to see if we can establish connection with one of our commenters who is registered to speak. So give them another few minutes for that commenter. And as I said earlier, if anyone else would like to speak, they can put their name in the chat box at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. So we are allowing another couple minutes to see if one of our registered speakers is able to connect. So just stand by, please.
Hey, Davis, at this time, I was not able to establish connection with her. We'll have to move on with the proceedings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rahat. That is all the names we have registered to speak tonight. Based on the information received during tonight's hearing and comments received throughout the comment period, I will make a recommendation to the Director of the Division of Air Quality for his consideration in making a final decision on whether to issue, modify, or deny the air permit to Flowers Timber Company, Inc. Thank you again for your cooperation, attendance, and interest in the air quality permitting process. This public hearing is now adjourned.